Imagine this. You're a sales leader aiming for peak performance, maybe an executive really looking to optimize your revenue engine. Did you know that half of all sales, fully 50%, go to the very first person who reaches out?
That's a huge number.
It really is. Or how about this? 80% of sales opportunities, they actually need 5 or more follow-ups.
5 or more, yeah.
Yet almost half of salespeople, 44%, they just give up after one single attempt.
Wow. That's a lot of potential just vanishing.
Exactly. It's a staggering amount of potential business just left on the table.
Huh.
So today we're embarking on a deep dive. We want to talk about transforming sales from that, traditional often hit or miss approach into something smarter, a data-driven strategy for, undeniable sales success. We're drawing on some invaluable insights, pulling from comprehensive research and the kind of collective wisdom we've gathered, really to give you a tangible edge.
And our mission for you today is pretty clear, really. We want to extract truly actionable insights from these, frankly, compelling sales facts. Because these aren't just numbers floating around, right? They're more like blueprints. Blueprints that you, whether you're leading a sales team, hiring for one, or you're an executive overseeing it all.
Right.
You can apply them immediately to optimize your teams, drastically improve those conversion rates, and actually drive significantly larger purchases.
Bigger deals, always good.
Definitely. Think of this as like your shortcut. A way to upgrade your team's habits and help them approach every single deal with real confidence. We're here to help you cut through the noise, focus on what truly moves the needle for sales success.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's zero in on something that I think is often underestimated, which is the critical edge you get from timing and speed. It turns out when and how fast you connect isn't just important.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's everything.
It really can be.
The data shows this shocking urgency, particularly with initial contact. Listen to this. If you follow up within just 5 minutes of getting a website lead.
5 minutes, that's fast.
It is. You are. And this number, it really makes you pause. 9 times more likely to convert that lead. 9 times.
Wow. Okay, that 9 times more likely. I mean, that just screams operational imperative, doesn't it?
It does.
So for a sales leader listening, what are the immediate, practical hurdles to actually achieving that kind of speed, that 5-minute response?
Yeah.
And what strategic investments should they really be thinking about to make it happen?
That's a fantastic question. And you've absolutely hit on a critical point there. That 5-minute window, it's not just a nice-to-have suggestion.
No, it sounds more like a hard metric.
Exactly. It's a critical operational metric. So for leaders, this immediately points to needing, robust lead routing automation for starters.
Things like AI-powered scoring, maybe, instant distribution.
Precisely. Real-time CRM integrations are key too. And of course, a well-trained rapid response team that's actually structured for that immediate engagement.
Yeah, we've seen organizations literally re-architect their entire front-end sales process just to write that one statistic. It really forces you to ask,
What's the question?
Are our systems truly set up to make this humanly possible? And, crucially, consistently scalable? Or are we just leaving, 9x potential conversions on the table because of process bottlenecks or manual handoffs?
Right. It's about using tech to enable human speed, not just demanding it.
Exactly. Leverage the technology.
That makes perfect sense. It's not just telling people go faster, it's giving them the actual tools in the process. But it's not just about raw speed either, is it? It's also about precision when you engage.
Mm-hmm.
Our research highlights specific optimal contact times. For instance, the best times to email prospects, usually around 8:00 a.m. and 3:00 c.m.
Okay, early and mid-afternoon.
Yeah. And for those teams still making cold calls, and the optimal windows seem to be 4:00 to 5:00 p.m.
End of the day wrap-up time.
Right, or maybe 8:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Conversely, you probably want to avoid 11:00 a.m. and 2:00 p.m. for those calls. Those seem to be dead zones.
Right. Now, these aren't just arbitrary numbers. They're patterns, right? Patterns of human behavior. So how can a sales manager practically use these timing insights without making their team feel like, robots just dialing by the clock?
Yeah, that's the trick. It's about optimizing, not dictating, I suppose.
Exactly. What these patterns reveal, really, is an underlying human rhythm to business interactions. People are often in a sort of planning or review mindset early morning or late afternoon, maybe less distracted then.
Makes sense.
Midday, though, especially around lunch. That's often when they're swamped or, frankly, just disengaged.
Yeah, you can feel that energy dip.
Definitely. So for leaders, this isn't just some quirky stat. It's more like a blueprint for optimizing call blocks, scheduling email campaigns, even planning strategic outreach on platforms like LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, right.
It lets your team maximize their valuable prospecting hours instead of just, blindly dialing whenever. We saw one company, they saw a 15% increase in meeting bookings just by shifting their cold call blocks to these optimal windows.
15% just from timing.
Just from timing, because they caught prospects at more receptive moments. It's all about being incredibly efficient and effective with the time you actually have.
It's wild how granular this data gets, isn't it? We've talked minute-by-minute urgency, hour-by-hour precision, but even the day of the week can make a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, our data clearly indicates Thursday. Thursday is the #1 best day for prospecting.
Thursday, okay. Interesting.
Wednesday comes in a strong second. And here's a tip. You might want to advise your team to maybe avoid Tuesday for those really crucial outreach efforts.
Avoid Tuesday. Okay, so for a sales leader trying to map out their team's whole week, what are the sort of broader implications of these daily patterns? What does that mean strategically?
Absolutely. It really comes down to being present when your prospect is most receptive, right? Not just when it's convenient for the sales rep.
Right. Thursday, for instance, maybe prospects are wrapping up tasks, potentially more open to thinking about the future or having quick conversations.
Could be. And by Tuesday, it feels like maybe everyone's still just getting bogged down in the week's initial rush.
Yeah, maybe digging out from Monday. So for leaders, this translates into strategically perhaps front-loading your high-volume critical outreach efforts on those peak days, Thursday, Wednesday.
Makes sense. It's not about working harder hours necessarily.
No, it's about working smarter with your team's time and resources. And speaking of channels and efficiency, our research also highlighted something about LinkedIn.
What was that?
That top-performing salespeople. They spend upwards of 6 hours per week on LinkedIn.
6 hours plus. That's significant.
It is. And this isn't just casual browsing, mind you. It's a dedicated, strategic effort. Recognizing LinkedIn as a crucial platform for prospecting, for warming up leads, building those professional connections in this digital-first world we're in.
So it's another piece of that puzzle.
Exactly. It's another example of where smart timing and smart channel selection really play a pivotal role in capturing that critical first mover advantage where we said, half of sales are won simply by being the first to engage properly.
That really deepens the strategic perspective quite a bit. Okay, so we've covered the timing. Now here's where it gets, I think, really fascinating, especially for anyone thinking about long-term sales success. We often focus on closing the sale, right? But what about the journey to that close and maybe even beyond it?
The whole life cycle.
Exactly. The data reveals this significant, almost alarming gap in follow-up strategy. It shows that 80% of sales opportunities require 5 or more follow-ups.
80% need 5 or more. Okay.
Yet that staggering figure again. 44% of salespeople give up after just one single attempt.
Wow. That just screams a fundamental disconnect in how we approach sales, doesn't it?
It really does.
So from your perspective, what's the core psychological barrier there? Why don't reps persist? And what are the top leaders doing to actually instill that, marathon mindset in their teams?
That's a fantastic and really crucial question because you're right. It's not just about telling people follow up more.
Right. That doesn't work.
No. Many reps, they fear being seen as pushy maybe, or they just run out of ideas after the first no, or more likely no response at all.
Yeah, the silence is tough.
It is. Our research points to 2 key areas for leaders here. First, it's about extensive training on value-driven follow-ups.
Value-driven. Okay. So not just checking in.
Exactly. Not just checking in. Consistently offering new insights, maybe relevant content, or solutions to problems that might be evolving for the prospect. Each touch point has to bring some value.
Got it. And the second area?
Second, it's about providing robust CRM tools. Tools that prompt and maybe even automate parts of that multi-touch process, alongside clear metrics that actually reward persistence, not just the initial contact.
So incentivizing the follow-through.
Right. One really effective strategy we found was creating follow-up playbooks. These basically outline specific value-add reasons for each touch point, giving reps a clear path forward.
Okay, so it removes the guesswork and the fear a bit.
Exactly. It helps shift the mindset from feeling like you're nagging to knowing you're actually nurturing.
That distinction, nagging versus nurturing, that feels really important.
It is. And it's not just about raw persistence either. It's about the quality and the longevity of that engagement.
Right.
Because the numbers tell us that nurtured leads, they don't just convert more often, they actually result in 47% larger purchases on average.
47% larger deals. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not just a happy bonus. That fundamentally shifts how we should be viewing our sales pipeline, doesn't it? What are the strategic implications there for leaders in terms of valuing and developing the leads they already have, not just constantly chasing new ones?
Exactly. That 47% increase in deal size for nurtured leads. It isn't just a statistic. You could argue it's a strategic mandate. It suggests that shifting some resources, maybe from pure lead generation towards more robust, personalized nurturing, that could yield a far greater ROI for many organizations.
Right, focusing on quality over just quantity.
Precisely. So for sales leaders, this means investing in comprehensive customer relationship management strategies, not just buying the tools.
It's the process around the tool.
Exactly. Building processes that cultivate those long-term relationships, understanding how client needs evolve, and positioning your team as, trusted advisors, not just order takers.
Moving beyond just booking appointments.
Right. Creating a systematic, value-driven engagement model that keeps progressing leads towards those higher value outcomes. Building a loyal client base is actually more likely to expand their investment over time.
That makes incredible sense.
Yeah.
Really investing in the quality of those relationships pays dividends.
And here's another area where the data suggests there's just this massive untapped gold mine. Referrals.
Referrals.
Yeah.
Always powerful.
Incredibly. Despite the fact that 91% of customers say they're willing to give referrals.
91%. That's almost everyone.
It is. But only a mere 11% of sales reps actually ask for them.
11%.
Yeah.
That's almost mind-boggling when you think about the potential growth just sitting there.
It really is.
So for hiring managers, for executives listening, what's the strategic imperative here? How can they overcome this seemingly simple but obviously often overlooked obstacle?
It truly is an astounding oversight, isn't it?
Yeah.
The strategic imperative is just crystal clear. Referrals are often pre-qualified. They come with high trust baked in.
Which means shorter sales cycles.
Exactly. Dramatically shorter sales cycles, higher close rates. It's literally free, high-quality pipeline just waiting.
So why a disconnect? Why are people asking?
Well, the obstacle seems to be often a mix of things. Fear of rejection, maybe, not wanting to bother the client after a sale.
Or maybe just not having a system, forgetting.
Or simply not having a systematic process for asking.
Exactly. So for leaders, the solution really lies in training and integration.
Okay.
It means creating a culture where asking for referrals is just a standard part of the sales cycle. Maybe integrated into CRM prompts after a successful deal closes or at key relationship milestones.
Making it routine.
Right. And reps need to be trained on how to ask, when to ask, and maybe even who to ask, identifying potential advocates.
Practical skills.
Yeah. We've seen companies implement simple things like post-sale surveys that just include a referral question, or even creating advocate programs that actively reward clients for bringing in new business, turning that passive willingness into active partnership.
The ROI on that must be almost immediate.
You'd think so. And this all ties directly into that bigger picture of customer retention, doesn't it? It absolutely does, which raises that important question again. Are our sales strategies built for the long haul, the marathon, or are they just focused on the sprint, the initial close?
Right.
The data clearly shows that sustained strategic engagement, not just that first contact, is absolutely key.
So what does that mean for leaders, practically?
For sales leaders, for executives, it means investing. Investing in training for those consistent value-driven follow-ups we talked about and building robust customer relationship management processes that actually support this long-term approach.
Because the cost of losing customers is high.
It's incredibly high. Think about the cost of acquisition versus retention. The numbers are pretty stark. You'll likely lose around 14% of your customers every single year if you don't actively prospect and nurture those existing relationships.
14% churn just from neglect.
Effectively, yes.
Yeah.
And think about influence, too. Your influence, your ability to impact their future decisions. It drops about 10% for every single month you don't stay in touch.
Wow, that's a fast decline.
It is. It really highlights that sales success isn't just about closing the next new deal. It's also about continually engaging and, crucially, potentially upselling those existing clients. Think about it. Maybe 6 out of every 20 clients aren't fully utilizing what you offer them.
Huge potential right there in the existing base.
Exactly. Significant potential for growth within your existing client base, often overlooked because everyone's so focused on hunting for new business.
Okay, so we've covered the when and the how often of sales, critical stuff. But once you actually have that prospect's attention, what do you say? And maybe more importantly, how do you ensure it truly resonates?
Now we're getting into the art and science of communication.
Exactly. Expert, I imagine this brings us squarely into the fascinating psychology behind effective communication in sales, doesn't it? Beyond just the numbers and timing, there's this whole psychological layer that can really make or break a deal.
Absolutely, host. It's all about understanding human cognition, human emotion. Consider this fundamental truth. The human brain processes visuals something like 60,000 times faster than text.
60,000 times. Okay, that's not trivial.
Not at all. So for a sales leader, this isn't just about making pretty slides. It's really about cognitive load.
Cognitive load. Explain that.
Well, text-heavy presentations force a prospect to read and interpret at the same time, right? That slows down their comprehension. It reduces their engagement. Visuals, on the other hand, they allow for almost immediate understanding and often a stronger emotional connection.
So the strategic takeaway for leaders is?
Invest in sales enablement that actually trains reps in visual storytelling, not just data dumping.
Okay, like using infographics.
Exactly. Think about custom infographics that distill complex data points, or maybe short, impactful video testimonials embedded right into a presentation. We saw one case study where companies swapped out their super detailed product spec sheets.
They're the ones nobody reads.
Pretty much. They swapped them for a single, compelling problem solution infographic used early in the pitch. Their engagement rates jumped by 30%.
30% just from changing the visual format.
Yeah, it's about clarity and immediate impact.
That's a potential game changer for how many teams structure their pitches. And while we, here on the deep dive, we love compelling data.
We do appreciate a good stat.
We do. But the research suggests something perhaps even more surprising for your presentations. 63% of people remember stories after a presentation.
Okay, 63% remember stories.
Compared to only 5% who remember the statistics.
Only 5% remember the stats. Wow, okay, that's not just a nuance. That's a fundamental shift in how we should probably be communicating.
Right. So how can sales leaders train their teams to be better storytellers? Especially when they're dealing with, say, complex products or technical services.
Yeah, this is absolutely critical, host. Stories, they create emotional resonance, they make information relatable, and they're just significantly more memorable because they engage more parts of the brain.
So it's not about abandoning facts, but framing them differently.
Exactly. For leaders, it means moving beyond just rote memorization of features and benefits. It's about training reps to craft compelling narratives. Narratives that illustrate how their solution has helped real people solve real problems.
Bringing it to life.
Precisely. This involves teaching them how to identify the hero that's the client, the challenge that's the problem they face, and the resolution, which is the impact your solution provides.
Can you give an example?
Sure. So instead of just saying, our software increases efficiency by 20%, a rep could maybe say something like, we worked with a client, a small business owner, actually a lot like yourself, who felt like they were drowning in manual data entry every week. After implementing our solution, she found she had an extra day, a whole extra day each week, to focus on growing her business, not just getting bogged down in operations.
Okay. That makes the statistic much more personal and tangible.
Exactly. It's about empathy and connection, not just spitting out information.
That's really powerful. And finally, let's talk about impact, especially at the end of a pitch. Our research shows that the last 5 minutes of your presentation or pitch, those are the most memorable moments.
The recency effect, yeah. Very powerful.
So how are you ending your conversations? Are you leaving that impactful impression, a really clear call to action maybe? Or perhaps a memorable story that ties everything neatly together? These final moments seem crucial for solidifying your message, making sure your prospects walk away with a clear, positive takeaway.
Absolutely crucial, host. That recency effect is strong. What people hear last often sticks most vividly in their minds.
So what should happen in those last 5 minutes?
Well, it's definitely not the time to introduce new information. That just muddies the water. Those final minutes are for reinforcing your value proposition, reiterating the key benefits specifically tailored to that client's problems, and clearly, concisely articulating the next steps.
Making it easy for them to move forward.
Precisely. So for leaders, This means training teams to craft a strong, concise closing statement. It could be a powerful summary that reconnects to their initial pain points. It might be a clear roadmap for exactly what happens next, or maybe even a provocative question that encourages them to really envision a better future with your solution.
Leaving them thinking and feeling positive.
Exactly, leaving them with a sense of clarity, maybe urgency, hopefully excitement, not confusion or doubt. This whole section really underscores that true sales success isn't just about conveying information. It's about creating that connection and impact through really thoughtful communication.
And tying into all this, it's worth noting why people actually buy in the first place.
No, core motivation, right?
Yeah. Our research consistently shows that about 70% of buyers, they purchase primarily to solve problems.
Of pain points. Makes sense.
While only about 30% are primarily motivated to gain something extra, like an advantage or a new capability.
Interesting split, 70-30 problem gain.
Right. Which means your primary focus, almost always, should be on identifying and providing clear solutions to your prospects' existing pain points. The extra gains, well, they're secondary, though still valuable benefits to highlight.
So lead with the problem-solving aspect.
Exactly. For sales leaders, this means moving beyond those simple data dumps we talked about and really training teams to craft those compelling narratives. Narratives that resonate deeply with buyers because they address their problems first and then highlight any additional value or gains your offering provides.
Making it relevant and urgent to them.
Right. The ultimate goal is to make your pitch memorable, make it actionable, and make it emotionally resonant, ensuring those crucial final minutes are used effectively to solidify the desired outcome and position your team not just as vendors, but as, well, the sales experts in solving customer challenges.
It really is about understanding that human element in every single transaction.
This deep dive has, I feel, truly given us a powerful blueprint for elevating sales success. It's been fascinating.
Yep.
We've seen the undeniable power of timing and speed, capturing that critical first mover advantage. We've seen how crucial that persistent nurturing and relationship building is for securing larger deals and, importantly, retaining customers.
The long game.
The long game. And finally, the art, really, of psychologically informed, impactful communication that actually resonates deeply with buyers.
Yeah, these aren't just abstract statistics. They feel like actionable insights.
They really are. Gleaned from the comprehensive research we've analyzed today, they can genuinely transform your sales approach from, simply selling to truly influencing your market and achieving greater sales success.
Absolutely. And look, this deep dive, drawing on insights compiled by the sales experts, it really is just a starting point. For more detailed strategies, maybe resources on building those high-performing sales teams we discussed, or perhaps tailored sales recruitment solutions that can help you actually implement these insights.
Where should people go?
We definitely encourage you, whether you're a sales leader, a hiring manager, or an executive, to visit thesalesexperts.com.
Thesalesexperts.com.
Got it.
It's really about taking these lessons and actively applying them, auditing your current approach, upgrading your team's habits, and ultimately closing deals with renewed confidence.
Fantastic. Ultimately, sales isn't just about making a transaction, is it? It feels much more like anticipating needs, building genuine trust, and consistently delivering value over time.
Well said.
So as you, our listener, reflect on this discussion, here's a final thought. What fundamental assumption about your current sales process are you now ready to challenge? What could you question today to truly unlock your team's next level of sales success?